Hey guys, Robby real quick, hip rotation in regards to the way that you load your drive leg. I've talked about this in the past in regards to the way that you load your drive leg. I can't talk today. Being quad dominant or loading your glute. We talk about hip hinging or quad dominant, and I want to kind of tie a bow around this loading pattern and the way that your hip rotation mechanics should operate. All right, so just to give you some clarification in regards to the difference. We load in our glute. That's more of a hip hinge, okay? So when you think about like a deadlift, you'll see a lot of individuals that throw at high power output have the ability to hinge at the hips when they descend from their leg lift to then store up energy in their drive leg via their gluteus maximus. Quad dominant is going to be a little bit different. Descending from peak leg lift, you're going to stabilize energy, knee's going to crack over that foot, and your direction's going to kind of shoot that way. Now, I did a video on this a couple weeks ago. I just want to clarify some key points. Hip hinge loaders have the ability to maintain neutral pelvis throughout a longer duration of their drive phase in comparison to quad dominant loaders. Quad dominant loaders being that you are loading in such a way that is taking your energy a little bit misdirected from straight linear towards your desired target being the catcher. That way or the quad dominant, now you're going to have to initiate your hip rotation a little bit earlier. As you can imagine, you can't stay neutral because if you continuously stay neutral, you're just going to be going this way because drive leg dictates your direction for most individuals, 95% probably. So when we look at the hip rotation, although there's going to be a lot within this chapter of this ebook with hip rotation mechanics that are just absolutes, meaning this is just how hip rotation mechanics should work and this is how it shouldn't work. There's the key difference that I see in regards to both of these is the way that you load your drive leg. So we do need to understand if we load our drive leg in such a way that how that influences the rotation of our hips. Okay, so like I said, hip hinge guys that are going to be a little bit more drive leg direction linear have the ability to not delay, for lack of a better term, but just keep neutral throughout this drive phase and then begin to rotate their hips. We talked about ankle eversion. They have ability to do that as well. Whereas quad dominant, you have to initiate your hip rotation earlier to catch back up neutral on line, okay? But that doesn't mean that your trunk rotation should follow, all right? So when we're looking at hip rotation mechanics, we need to look at the way that the individual loads up the drive leg, all right? Being quad dominant or hip hinge, those two pieces right there give us a really good indication of how hip rotation mechanics should vary per individual. But for the majority of guys, those are really the only things we would look at in terms of individualizing hip rotation mechanics. And like I mentioned earlier, like all the other stuff that's involved within hip rotation mechanics, I look at as almost absolutes. All right, so for those of you guys listening or watching from the ebook, we'll keep going. Those of you guys watching on YouTube that have no idea what the ebook is, go buy it because it's dope. See you guys.